Please subscribe to Rainy Free, like the video, and hit the bell notification. Thank you.
Of the same age, why don't you make it the same? Without having to specifically classify that under circumstances of homosexuality.
Would it still achieve the same result?
Because the problem now you have with your law is that you are trying to identify a particular group, and it is like us having a law on murder. But you say, if you are a Muganda and you murder, why do you want to attach identity to a crime? Why don't you keep it neutral?
Is it illegal to be a Muganda in Uganda?
No.
It is illegal to be a homosexual in Uganda. So we are not reinventing the wheel. No, we didn't do it yesterday.
No.
That one was done in your constitution. Wearing or promoting.
Let me correct you. Previously, the law punished a homosexual act. It never criminalized being homosexual, as you have done. Today, if you stood and say, I am a homosexual, you have committed a crime and actually you go to jail. Previously it was, if you slept with a person of the same gender,
you have committed a crime.
The moment you say you are homosexual, okay, it is an act.
No.
You see, Article 28 of the Constitution is that everybody is presumed innocent until proven guilty or until he pleads guilty. Now, the moment you come to us and you tell us, for you, you are homosexual, it implies to us that you are engaged in acts of homosexuality.
So now,
and what makes it illegal?
Gentlemen,
I thought I was responding.
Let me put in this, because the last time the president of Parliament was, I think, in Kololo, and he said even himself, we are still battling with the idea whether this is by nature or nurture. So if he finds out really that people are born like this by nature, and they say this is who I am, you criminalize them? They have committed a crime because they are born like that?
There is no nature.
How is the president supposed to find out that?
No, because that's what he said.
No, you see
that is going to be...
Well, if he is trying to find out, we have already found out for him that it is not by nature, but nurture.
I want to say one thing at the top. We have grave concerns with the passage of the Anti-Homosexuality Act, AHA, by the Parliament of Uganda yesterday, and increasing violence targeting LGBTQI+ persons. If the AHA is signed into law and enacted, it would impinge upon universal human rights, jeopardize progress in the fight against HIV/AIDS, deter tourism, and invest in Uganda and damage Uganda's international reputation. The bill is one of the most extreme anti-LGBTQI+ laws in the world. Human rights are universal. No one should be attacked, imprisoned, or killed simply because of who they are or whom they love.
Is there anything like sanctions or some other concrete measure being considered by the US side if this law should take effect?
Yeah, well, first of all, big if there, right? This is the Parliament passing it. It still has some process to go here. We're certainly watching this real closely, and we would have to take a look at whether or not there might be repercussions that we would have to take, perhaps in an economic way, should this law actually get passed and enacted. And that would be really unfortunate because so much of the economic assistance that we provide Uganda is health assistance, and largely through PEPFAR. You can see a world in which, a law like this, should it be enacted, would not only, as Karine rightly said, just be devastating to a whole community of people inside Uganda, but if it were to have any kind of an effect on our economic assistance, that would only make that worse. So we'll have to take a look. No decisions. We're watching this very, very closely, and hopefully it won't pass and we won't have to do anything.
But a performer in makeup is the biggest problem that needs to be stopped? This drag ban is not about drag performers. It is a part of a larger plan to send all queer and gender non-conforming people back into the closet. Some Republicans are even calling for the eradication of transgendered people. Let me say that again. Some Republicans are calling for the eradication of transgender people. This is violent hate speech and should be denounced by all. Just because you don't understand others or don't believe the same things should never be a reason to eradicate or get rid of another human being. It disgusts and sickens me that ignorant politicians are saying these things out loud and getting applause. Where are the good people?
Are focused on so many issues. We just talked about economy. We just talked about inflation. We're talking about safer communities and schools. And good health care, all of the things that you all ask me every day. And you all know that's what the American people care about. That's what, even when they went to vote in November, those were the issues that mattered the most to them. But instead of doing anything to address those real issues that are impacting American people, right now you have a governor from Tennessee has decided to go after drag shows. What sense does that make? To go after drag shows? How is that going to help people's lives who are thinking about the economy, who are thinking about making sure their kids are going to be safe when they go to school, or their communities are safe? But that's what he wants to focus on. So it's part of a larger pattern from elected officials who espouse freedom and liberty, but apparently think that freedom of speech only extends to people who agree with them.
If you are in Uganda and you are part of the LGBTQ community, get out and get out now. Because what they've done with this new law, as it has already been spoken about, if you simply say that you are a part of that community, then you've committed a crime based on their laws. Even though I am not a part of that community, I can tell you I still think that is very strict. However, that's their country. They voted on it. They have a right to their culture. They have the right to vote on what they want for their country, even though I think it's strict. And if I was a part of that community, again, I would just get out. Simple as that. America going over there talking about their laws and how they're concerned about human rights when America's not attending to the human rights of its own people. There are still LGBTQ discriminatory practices in this country. There is still reparations not paid for African Americans, those that are the descendants of those enslaved. We do not have universal health care. So you cannot tell me that America is so concerned about Uganda's passing of their law as if they can't come and go and do business freely in their country. Let the people of Uganda take care of what they feel is right. And that includes even if they have a big community of the LGBTQ or a small community of the LGBTQ. Let them work that out. But if I were in Uganda, I'd get out of there, because it almost sounds like they're going to be on a witch hunt. Because not only did they say, if you even say that you are gay, they're even implying that if you act or someone believes that you are, then you may have to prove that you're not. So I just wanted to make a comment on this because I feel that the law is very strict, but I also feel that they have a right to do what they want in their land, in their country, and in their culture. And if I were part of the gay community, I'd simply get out of there, unless you want to stand and fight. Those that are from Uganda, that are a part of the community, if you want to go back and fight or fight on the outside, whatever you need to do, because the law is very strict. But based on the way they've changed it, not only do they no longer have to catch you in the act of doing something lewd, in their opinion, but now by simply saying that you are a part of the LGBTQ, then you've committed a crime. And that to me is very strict. But the West has no right and no business when they're not even taking care of their own human right issues in their own countries, especially America. So make that make sense.